Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. I don't know what time you're watching this, but I'm happy that you're here. My name is Nick. This is You Don't Scare Me, Twin Side Twice Paranormal. And we're going to be watching 5 scary ghost videos that will give you nightmares by Haunted 5. And I'm going to be breaking down what's good, what's not good. It's only 10 minutes long, but I know how I tend to go through this stuff, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up making it a lot longer than that. Yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. Haunted 5 is not a... yeah, you know what, actually now I'm remembering... My brother really doesn't like this guy because he uses the same stock footage every day, but... Like, when you're running a YouTube channel, if you pay for, like, specific stock footage, I really don't think that it's that big of a deal to keep using it. I mean, you know, get your money's worth, right?
Great caution. Supposedly, a woman unfortunately drowned in the lake, and she haunts the surrounding campgrounds. On this particular
So I move this slightly because I'm going to be out of key because I want to be like here, out of frame. That's about right.
So he was recording him with the beautiful lake in the background. Everything seemed rather ordinary in the beginning until he noticed his dog getting quite spooked. Unsure what caused his dog to become uneasy, he reviewed the footage and was stunned by what he captured.
I'm not sure you can put much stock in I saw it, but it's not scary. Oh wow, really, guys? Oh, okay, so I'll tell you exactly what that is. Like, literally, you just take 2 videos and you lower the opacity on the top video so that it's translucent. This is a green screen ghost. I'm pretty sure if I looked hard enough, I could probably find it, like Canva or something like that. It's just a video with the background removed, and then I'll lower the opacity until it's on this video. It's pretty obvious. I mean, like, just look at it. Like, you don't even need to be like a graphics expert to be able to tell that that's clearly just been put in there. That's silly. That's stupid. No, it's not stupid. It's just silly. I mean, let's be real here. Like, like, if this is what you want to do to like get views and stuff like that, there's a place for that. Here, YouTube, you know, this is the land of the free. Like, we're supposed to be able to post whatever we want, and then other people might come in and enjoy watching our videos, and that's what I'm doing. Like, if you don't like what I'm doing, then that's fine. Go somewhere else. But this is what I want to do. This is what I enjoy, and I'm recording this so that you guys can watch me enjoy doing what I enjoy doing. But yeah, this is just like a overlay. Lower the opacity. There's nothing.
Strange translucent figure manifests just above the water. Although the lake has fog rolling over it, it's still clear that the figure is something different than the surrounding fog. The figure appears to be wearing a large white cloak, and after a few
It's the curse of recording. Every single time I start recording, I start getting tired and yawning. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it matters.
The skeptics are certain it was simply CGI.
Do you think I should put my logo somewhere in the video?
To educating people on Japanese culture.
Like, maybe like up in the corner or something like that. Because this guy's got Haunted 5 and then H5 in the bottom right corner, like down here. And then like up there, like, it's crazy.
Videos, he began to notice comments that seemed out of place. Instead of asking about the real estate, most of the comments were asking him about the figure during his tour. Considering the fact that he was by himself on his tour, he began to feel...
You know, usually when somebody says that they're alone, like, oh, I'm alone in this place, like there's nobody else here, like it's just me. We have to kind of take it on faith that we have to kind of take it on faith that that they're actually alone. I left Total Commander open on that screen. Hey, you know, like, if you're a tech junkie and you want to know how interested in technology I am, look no further than having Total Commander installed on your computer. If you don't know what that is, Google it and use it.
So he was unsure what his viewers were referring to. When he watched back the video, he was stunned by what he witnessed.
Here's what $760 gets you in Fukuoka, Japan. Now today we have a classic Japanese home, starting with a very nice tatami room. This house will run you a monthly rent of 12 man yen.
Once he enters the house and quickly
That's
pans his
curious.
camera from right to left, we can see a humanoid.
So you could very clearly see that the person is already in the sunroom right here. They're just kind of crouched down, like closer to the wall. And then as he pans over, you can see the shadow. You can see the shadow moving through the room as the man approaches the... See, like right here? You can see that there's an actual shadow for this person. So it's not a ghost, it's like a physical object. Like it's a person. You know, there's no evidence of ghosts, and the fact that I just said like there's a shadow, so it's not a ghost. Like, I know that I'm somewhat of an expert when it comes to analyzing videos for signs of tampering. I used to do it for a living as a security consultant. I've had many jobs. I know that every time I say I used to be a plumber, I used to be a trucker, I used to be a security consultant for videos for CCTV footage and video analysis to check for manipulation because of like laws, like lawyers used in court. So they would send me their footage and I'd show them where the video was tampered with. I've had a pretty good set of careers. I work in a warehouse now, but I've had several pretty interesting jobs throughout my time. 32 years old. Like, I've been working since I was 16 years old. Under the table at first, then over the table after I turned 18. Worked in places, warehouses. I was a security guard for a while. You can get into a lot of stuff in a very small amount of time. 32 is not that young. I've been working for like 18 years. Anyways, but yeah, the point is for this video here, we're gonna keep looking here. We're gonna try to find where the cut is, because there is a cut. There's always a cut. So as you can see, there's a man standing here. Might be a cardboard cutout. Might be an actual man, but because of the shadow moving, I deign to say that it's an actual man.
Appears to be quite tall and staring directly at him.
But they're not moving at all. They're facing towards us. And the reason why you can tell that is because, you know, actually, I'm not sure why I can tell that, but I can. He's facing towards the screen, not away from it. I think it would mostly just be because you can see like the hair is here, but then there's no hair here, which leads me to believe that that's mostly the face. So, plus the angle of the shorts, the cut of the shorts that this person is wearing, it kind of like looks like it's hooking towards the front, and shorts notoriously kind of hug your thighs and then hang off your front. If that makes any sense, that might be a stretch there, but
As he begins to pan
but
the camera to the right,
it's really difficult to do like cuts here. So one of the things that's really important to note is that when you're analyzing security footage, or sorry, I was analyzing security footage, so that's like my primary specialty. But I did infrequently also investigate like handheld footage and footage of other kinds, webcam footage in one case. But there are things that you can look for, sudden shifts of luminance to show that there's been time that's passed between the two shots. There's no cut here. This is a full straight running video. This looks like it might be a door to go outside. In fact, I'm almost certain that that is that is exactly what that is. No, you know, I'm not sure. That might be a light blocking solution. Okay, so it seems like there's some sort of structure jutting out here. It might be a closet. If you look very closely, sometimes if somebody is hiding, say in this like closeted area, you might be able to see that they're not quite as thin as they'd hope they'd be, and you might be able to see just the bare edge. But this text is kind of in the way to be able to catch anything like that. Now the second thing that I note that I would like to note is the proximity that the man is to the edge here. So I wouldn't be surprised if they were working together, and when he turned to look into this room here, he might go out, like slip around the edge of the door and then run into the room this way. So the way that we would look for that is, you see how the sun is shining in this direction, and you can see that there's this cut shadow here of just the edge of the door frame. Here is casting a shadow here. You'll see that here, there's another one right here. So this little square area is casting a shadow here, okay? I want you to pay attention to things like that, because if we want to determine whether he's left this room and gone towards this way, all we need to do is just very closely look at the luminance of this shadow, check for additional shadows. Like let's start here. As he moves this way, we can carry it through here. So we're going to be looking in this spot now. And you can see that there is no discernible shadow that interacts with this space here. There's no movement. So that leads me to state, again, in my professional experience, in my professional opinion, this was my profession, we can now determine, because of this footage, that the man did not leave this room, and instead he's gone deeper into the room, because the shadow didn't interact at all. Which means he's in this cupboard. And that's the investigative side. So now we determine that he's in this room here.
The camera motion was so quick that it wouldn't be enough time for a normal person.
I would be interested to see the full video and go through the entire run of the film, run of the video, to see if there's any other points in the showing of this area. Look, my camera's already overheating. It's glitching. You see that? I need money. I need to purchase new equipment. But yeah, so we a regular occurrence was analyzing the direction that people were walking or where. So security cameras, they like the security system will function in a manner that okay. There will always be blind spots in security cameras. By taking multiple security camera footage and then linking them together, you can effectively trace a path. But at the very edges of every security camera is the possibility of finding more details that were otherwise unobserved. 2 security cameras in one specific case showed just the very edge of a shadow. So that the person in question was walking between these 2 areas, and we discovered I was also on a team of other people. It wasn't just me. We discovered that the very bottom right corner of, let's call it camera 2, we saw just the edge of a shadow, and on camera 1 we had lost track of that person. And even though they never appeared fully in camera 2, the fact that the shadow had been there led us to believe that they had moved from the area where camera 1 was to the area where camera 2 was, and then somehow when they stayed out of the frame of that, that's why we eventually found them on camera 11. Because there was all this footage, you're looking for like a specific thing that happened in a specific time, and you need to be able to track people's movements. They managed to avoid every other camera all the way till a camera 11. But because we saw them on, let's call it camera 2, we knew that they were in that area, and that's where the thing happened that needed to be investigated. So they were saying that they weren't in that area. That little tiny shadow proved that they were, in fact, in that area. So look for those little tiny details. Like we could determine where that man has gone. So by process of elimination, we determined that he's in the closet in the corner. It's a long-winded explanation to help you understand like my mode of thinking when I'm looking at these. It's not always going to be able to be like pinpointing specific pieces of evidence in the videos. Sometimes it's going to just be an explanation, and you're going to have to take it on face value. Ghosts don't exist, so therefore Occam's razor leads us to believe that there was another person in the closet and they hid, or in that room, and then they hid in the closet. Understand? I think I can move on.
He has no idea who the child's spirit is, since there is not much information about the property's history. He was sound asleep one evening.
Most of the properties that I've lived in, I've never been able to find any information on them.
He wasn't expecting a visit.
Sometimes there's just no information, and you just got to deal with that. No information is most of the time good information. If a child died in that house, surely there would be a police report about it. I've seen another video of this guy's, I actually saw it on TikTok earlier today. And the child is always doing this one thing. So there is actually a child there. Okay? But right now, we're going to go frame by frame. There is enough time in this video for the child to run around the corner. This in and of itself is not... No, that's the cut. Okay, so normally when we're looking at these kinds of footages, we're going to be looking at giant jumps. So you can see how this this increase of distance. So between this frame and this frame, the door opens this much, and from this frame to this frame, the door opens that much, okay? Like, understand what I'm saying? So you look at the third frame, and then you can determine that between these three frames, the door moved this much. But now for some reason during this frame here, the door moved between these like 4 frames, it moved this much. So why did it move that much in one frame? Do you understand? That's not consistent. That's a cut. Do you understand? Like, that's how we determine things. And like, what's more, I know what you're probably thinking. Well, how do you know it was a cut? Because like, what about after the cut? Like, how does the door move after the cut? He might have just been increasing the speed really fast. First off, for the door to be able to move that much in one frame, it would have to be blasted open. Because as you can see, there's 2 frames right here. So this is a frame, this is a frame, and for some reason this exact frame is duplicated. Duplicating frames is another sign of manipulation. And now you can see that from these 2 frames, now you can see from this frame to this frame to this frame, the door is once again back to moving a couple centimeters per frame. So that's the cut, because the door moves too much, and there's 2 frames that are identical. Close but no cigar. Let's skip across. I gotta recover some time. I've been taking too much of it. Like, this is already 5 minutes into this video. I've probably already taken like 15-20 minutes to explain what I've done so far. Yeah, see, regular, same stock footage. This annoys the crap out of my brother. We don't really need the backstory for any of these videos, and I'll explain why really quickly. It's because the substance of the video is the evidence. The anecdotal evidence is the lowest form of evidence that we can possibly have. It is almost inadmissible in court. This footage again. I'm pretty sure the most recent video of mine will show this exact video. In fact, I also did a short on it, trying to broaden the audience here. So now that it's actually in this video, I can go into more depth. So if you're here from the shorts and you remember this video, then that's great. We can look frame by frame at specific elements to determine the direction of the video. So in my opinion, honestly, my opinion, this video is played in reverse. And I'll show you, I think we can actually play it in reverse, can't we? Playback speed. Custom. No. Can we play it in reverse? No, I suppose not. Regardless. The video is played in reverse. There is no available timestamp. It's played in reverse and slowed down, but the original poster of this video did say that they had slowed the video down. So if he chooses not to say that, that's on Haunted 5. So something weird is happening here. Nope, I see it now. It's a folding chair. This is the corner, edge, back, and the X of the folding chair. It's nothing weird's happening there. But you can see that there's kind of like this visual oddity where it looks almost like the banister is wonky, like somebody smeared the chair. But no, it's just perspective. These are all the things. We point these things out a lot. When you're analyzing footage, there's about like 900 different pins that you place on a video, but only 2 or 3 of them are actually genuine. So what you do is you place all these pins in order to, like give as much evidence as possible, and then your teammates review your information and you review their information until you all come down to a consensus where you all thought specific points were incorrect, and those are the points that you then review for a final time in order to finalize your results. So the woman here is not running towards this area, she's running towards the woods. And is my assumption, and this is purely just an assumption, is that she might be out here looking for her cat because she wants to go to bed. So the issues with this video is that she claimed that she had a motion captured on her Ring doorbell. And this is the video that she found when she woke up in the morning. The problem with that is that the original footage has no timestamp, which is important for another reason. Always have a timestamp available on your camera, and if you can help it, watermark, because the watermark and the camera's time code will help you if something illegal does happen. But if you didn't record either of those things, they won't be able to verify the security camera. That's a problem in court for some cases, and they won't be able to identify the exact time code in which this is happening. The reason why this video in particular is different is because this is actually being captured live. She's got her phone and she's actually recording as this is happening. And that's the reason why we know that is because in the original post, you can actually see where it says end live. So that's problem number 1. Problem number 2 is that, oh shit, hold on. So problem number 1, no time code, no watermark, no ability to determine the camera's model. So there's no method of verifying that this is in fact a Ring camera, which stops me from being able to bring up the IR range, motion tagging range, and other sensitive information like that. So problem number 2 is that if, like, let's go on the assumption that she's telling the truth, that this is a Ring doorbell camera, the motion tagging doesn't extend that far, or every single vehicle that passes by your house would trigger the motion alert. It would never be programmed like that. Most Ring cameras have a motion tagging range of around 20 feet. Sometimes less, but the IR range is around 80 feet. You can see that there's an additional amount of light here. It could be that she has an IR floodlight, or it could just simply be the floodlight. There's also a lot of light here. And there seems to be a spot here that's bright, which leads me to believe that there is a second house floodlight here. You can also see the great shadow, and IR doesn't typically show shadows. So this is an outdoor light. This is an outdoor light. This whole area is lit up. If you're going to sleep, it's likely that you will turn these off. So that's a problem. That's a single piece of evidence. Did I mention that the motion tagging wouldn't? Yeah, okay. So the motion tagging wouldn't. Okay, so evidence 1, no time code. Evidence 2, motion tagging doesn't record that far. Evidence 3, end live. Evidence 4, outdoor lights are on. 4 things. We could go with a 5th one. The video has been slowed down and reversed. Therefore, 5 pieces of evidence against this being real. I don't know how much clearer I can make it without finding the actual evidence. Like, oh, you know what? I think this one's actually played. No, it's not. Okay. So she actually runs this way. The reason why it's easy to point out that she runs this way is because the fabric billows inward. If she was running this way, the fabric would billow outward. But it's actually billowing inward. See that? See how it matches here? If she was running away from the camera, that would be like this. And you can kind of see the profile of the front of a woman. So this is in reverse.
Just outside his house. The figure appears to be wearing a white gown and walking in a straight.
And for some reason, like, they just barely stay visible here. So they're walking backwards right now.
Knowing it's happening just a few feet away.
You see what I mean? This is a perfect shot right here. You can see that this is her head, and then her shoulders, and then the small of her back, her butt, and then her feet, legs area. So you can come here and you can see the shape of a human body. She's walking backwards right now. This is in reverse.
Looks like a mentally unstable woman, which is much more terrifying.
And I think she's looking for her cat because she wants to go to bed.
A cruise ship graveyard exists on the
I saw this one too. So this is not a graveyard, this is a scrapping operation. So the ships get pulled up on shore and then they dismantle them. They often crash them onto the shore to dismantle them, but the point is that they're being dismantled. And there are people there to establish the materials on the ship and have a quote for specific materials. The ships will stay there because the ships will stay there in the dock, in the dry dock, in the beach dock, until specific materials are purchased, and then they will be dismantled off the ship to be able to ship them out. They don't just dismantle all these ships and then have piles and piles of metal everywhere, because that would take up more space than this ship takes up. So there are adjusters, people who go onto the ship and then calculate specific areas, like basically structural engineers, to find out where they can take the material from, and then they can begin cutting that material out. Now the problem is that in this video you'll see that all they've done is just record that somebody is on the ship doing exactly this.
And filming the massive cruise ships that had been abandoned for years.
Here it is. Now when I first saw this, I thought this was the ghost, but it's actually right here in this hole.
Nobody on the ships and getting access to them.
They claim that nobody's on the ship, and no, it wouldn't be difficult.
A strange anomaly in real time. But when they posted the
So here's another thing. A lot of people in the comment section were saying, no, there's no way that's an actual person on the ship, because there would be some other sea craft that allowed them onto the ship. Do you understand how difficult it is with this much turbulence so close to shore? Look, there's a man right here. Do you know how difficult it would be to maintain the ship, the small boat maintaining itself here? It would take a lot of fuel, it would take a lot of energy, and it would take a lot of time. They drop the person off to get on the boat, and then they drive the boat away and then come back and pick them up when they're done. They're on these ships for hours.
Video to social media, they were shocked at the comments. When they took a closer look at what everyone was referring to, they were left speechless.
It's the ship to the right. I don't know why he left this much in. Probably just padding. You're building anticipation. Here, see? Right there. You can see, right in this frame, this is the man. There is actually a person on that ship. And for all the reasons that I've explained to you, this is not abnormal.
It may have been difficult to see, but when the camera focuses on the cruise ship to the right and zooms in, we can see a dark humanoid figure walking from left to right.
There's nothing out of the ordinary here. It's simply just an engineer or a structural engineer or an architectural engineer or whatever you call them investigating the ship to ensure that there's places that they can remove material from that will allow them to complete orders of scrap metal.
Captured a paranormal entity, or simply someone looking for valuable items that may have been left over. Paranormal or not, the footage is definitely creepy.
No, the footage is definitely not creepy. Everything is magic to the uneducated. And everything is creepy to the uneducated. I'm not calling you stupid. I understand. I had to Google and research and understand this information for myself to be able to show it to you. And I had to have a career. I had to have a job. I wouldn't call it a career. It wasn't exactly like universally profitable. There was only times when you would get the job, and then other times you were out of work, and then you would be poor. Anyways, I had to research all this information. I had to learn all of this to be able to make these videos to show you. So you're watching this video right now. You're thinking, wow, what a low effort thing. All I did was just watch somebody else's video and point out all the flaws. But understand that it took me 18 years to gather enough education and information to be able to make these videos as they stand right now. So consider that. Like when you're going to like here's a perfect example. You go to a graphics designer and you ask him for a logo and he produces it in a day, and you say, why would I pay you $10,000 for this graphic design if it took you like 30 minutes to make? And he should reply saying it took me 10 years to learn how to do it in 30 minutes. So this might look like low effort content to you, but this is the culmination of over a decade, well, nearly 2 decades of experience in like all of this. Everything I know goes into making these videos. Like having information and understanding of security. I had to work 4 years in a security in a mall to be able to understand what night security jobs entail. And at the same time that I was working that job, I was also doing the security footage consultant job, and I worked in a cafeteria. 3 things. That led me to have information about kitchens and surrounding environments of kitchens, such as deep, like walk-in freezers and dry storage rooms, and the specific types of materials that you would find inside kitchens, which gives me an edge when I'm looking at videos of like sudden, like rapid depressurization or rapid pressurization of a refrigeration unit that allows the door to pop open because the power failed. And then the temperature rose inside the fridge, and then the door popped open. You know, like the reason why I know that is because I experienced that firsthand, reviewing the security footage in the cafeteria, reviewing the security camera footage while working at a cafeteria, while working as a security guard, to bring it all together to make enough money to live. I was a truck driver after doing plumbing, having plumbing school, and then working as a plumber, and then having situations fall through, and then ending up being a truck driver allowed me to have experience and understanding of plumbing systems and the sounds that you would hear late at night in your house, water hammering and stuff like that. And then my truck driving position allowed me to get better acquainted with how truck drivers manipulate, like how the roads manipulate how the truck driver experiences things like being able to see people walking down the street on the right side of the road at night. You might think that that's super bizarre, but it's actually way more common than you think. Somebody's car might have broken down and now they're walking down the street. Do you understand? I have 18 years of experience bringing me to the point where I can debunk these. So while this may look like low effort content, that this is a 2-decade long process to be able to get to this point. So my rant is over. Just because it took me 30 minutes to make doesn't mean that it didn't take me a decade to learn how to make it in 30 minutes. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, I love you, and goodbye.